Today on Shani Shares, we're going to learn how to make your very own water kefir. Yes, you heard that right. You've probably seen in the grocery store milk kefir. It's in the dairy section, the fridge section, and it's milk kefir. It's made with milk kefir grains, and it's fermented, and it's got probiotics within it. Today we're going to be making water kefir, which has one out of two the same words, but a totally different product. Same, but different. Water kefir is non-dairy, it's vegan, it's got a bunch of benefits, it's good for you, and it's tasty. It's a probiotic beverage, much like that of milk kefir, but again, it's non-dairy, full of vitamin B1, B6, B12. And at the end of the day, it's just made strictly with sugar, no added sweeteners. I know you're probably trying to avoid sugar in your diet, right? We're not trying to add in more sugar, but the benefit is the sugar isn't really for you. The sugar is for the bacteria and the yeast to eat. So you can buy kombucha, which is similar to water kefir, or you can buy milk kefir, or even if you can find it, you can buy water kefir in the store. But all of those are going to be about 12-ounce bottles, and they cost you about $3 to $4 per bottle. I don't know about you, but for $4 a bottle, and if I want to drink this every single day, I'm not going to be able to afford that if I want deliciousness and healthiness every single morning. So I decided to make my own. Let's see what it takes to make your very own water kefir. It's not very hard, trust me. So to get started, you're going to have to get what's called water kefir grains. Now these can come either mailed to you, or you can maybe buy them at some health store. If they're mailed to you, they'll either be dehydrated, which you can rehydrate them, or you can buy where I bought from, Florida Sun Kefir, and they delivered to me active grains, meaning I could just use them. I didn't have to revitalize them in any way. They were just ready to go, starting with the first batch. Okay, so let's get started. I first make some sugar water. I grab a sugar. I need about a quarter cup of sugar. A quarter cup of sugar. It's okay if it's a little bit more. You probably don't want it to be a little bit less. And you just throw that in there. A quarter cup sugar will now get dissolved just by using a little bit of hot water, maybe an ounce or two. It really doesn't have to be a lot, just to make sure that it gets dissolved. You're going to want to use anything other than metal to mix and deal with all of your ingredients and tools. Alternatively, I like doing this. Works quite well. And it's fun. Okay, the sugar is all dissolved. And I'm using raw brown sugar, so that's why there's a darker color to this. If you're going to use cane sugar, white sugar, whatever you want to use, go ahead. Don't use honey. There's certain things you can and can't use. Just look it up. Most sugars will work. Quarter cup of sugar deserves 4 cups of water. And this is a 2-cup measure, so I'm going to go ahead and pour in that 4 cups, the extra 2 cups. Nice. And I will add the quarter cup of water kefir grains. Just throw it right in here. If you want to double this recipe, you totally can. Just add in another quarter cup, so a half cup. Then you'll be using 8 cups, and you should have 2 quarter cups, so a half cup of sugar in here. Okay, so I had decided to double the recipe. So I've got a half cup of sugar in here, a half cup of water kefir grains, and 8 cups of water. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it with just a coffee filter and a rubber band. This makes sure that no flies get in. Fruit flies do like this, and that no other bacteria gets in. Now you store it in your pantry for 2 days. You can put in a raisin or a fig or a date and see within the 2 days whether or not those floated. If those floated, that means your fermentation process is going well. So what you're going to do is you're going to let that sit at room temperature. Its sweet spot is between 65 to 75 degrees. So let it sit for 2 days. 48 hours is what I recommend. And then it'll look like this. So I prepared this batch exactly 2 days ago. It sat for 48 hours in the pantry all alone in the dark section. And now I get to do fermentation round 2. First step of the fermentation process, get a good nylon mesh strainer. You'll notice none of the materials I use have metal that is touching the water kefir grains. Metal actually is known to upset the grains and actually kill them off. So I really like this bowl because it's got a spout to it on both sides, and I really like this strainer because it fits just as much as my grains need to be fit in. So what I'm going to do is, this is the batch that's been hanging out for 2 days. I'm gonna strain it in the sink. There, my bowl goes in the sink. It's quite heavy, maybe 5 pounds or so. And I'm just gonna strain the liquid right through it, and you're gonna see that the grains are coming right out with it. Before I get to that very last part, I like to give it one nice shake like that. See, make sure everything gets out together in one go. Oh, look at all those grains I have. Awesome. Still one more guy in here. This is the hardest part, I promise. Okay, here's what the grains look like. So they're crystally, they've got this crystallized structure. They're a little jelly. So now this is called fermentation round 2. It sat for 48 hours, and now we get to add a second ferment to add the flavor and to add more of the bubbles. So instead of fermenting just raw sugar, we're gonna give them something else to ferment off of. We can give them fresh fruit. We've got strawberries, blackberries, apples, bananas. We're gonna add in some lime, some blood orange, some lemon, and then things like rosemary and mint and lemongrass and ginger. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this today. Okay, I like to start by adding the fruit in first. That way you have enough space for everything you want. So I really like the strawberry one. So let's start with those. Strawberry, strawberry. Oops, strawberry. Strawberry, strawberry. Strawberry. And you can just put in as much as you like. The fun part. There's no rules. You know what? I think I'm gonna make like half of these something with strawberry. Maybe I'll do just a strawberry alone, and then a strawberry lime, maybe a strawberry lemon. Let's have some of the strawberries be strawberry blackberry. Let's have a blackberry one on its own. Ooh, and then I think blackberry lime would be so nice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Awesome, can't wait. And you know what? Before this gets really crazy, I'm going to get a Sharpie too, right? So for this one, I'll write blackberry and lime. BB and lime. Strawberry lemon mint would be nice. When it just works perfectly. Okay, real quick and dirty. So how did we make this? We took a 1/4 cup of sugar. We dissolved it in just a little bit of water, like an ounce. To that 1/4 cup of sugar, we added 4 cups of water, 32 ounces of water. After you mix that together, you make sure the water isn't too hot. You throw in the 1/4 cup of water kefir grains. Awesome. You can throw in a date, throw in an apricot, throw in a fig. Even it out by adding some Himalayan sea salt, whatever you want. Some people add in eggshells. I don't do that, but some people add in eggshells, so to each their own. Let it sit for 48 hours. Once it's sat, you can now pour this into cute little mason jars or something with like a lid, because at first you don't want it to have a tight lid. You want to make sure that it's sealed with a coffee filter and a rubber band around it. Then after those initial 48 hours in fermentation 1, you want to make sure that you move to something with a tight fitting sealing lid. So here we are. How did we get this? This is fermentation round 2. We took the concoction, what we made after we strained the grains out. We had a bunch of these jars filled with just the liquid, and we added whatever fruit we wanted to them. Strawberries, apples, lemon, ginger, mint, limes. Those are some of the best things to add in. I've got a blackberry combination here, an apple combination, strawberry lemon mint. You can get pretty wild with these. I have lemongrass and an apple ginger lemon combination. So a lot of really good flavors going on here. Make sure the lid is on tight, and it's gonna go back in that pantry for 24 hours. It's gonna wait there a whole other day until it goes into the fridge. The fridge stops the fermentation cycle. So make sure that you put it in the pantry first, because you want the sugars to get eaten by whatever bacteria and yeast does remain here. And that will also help make sure it's carbonated. So when I open this up, it'll get fizzy. Make sure you be really careful with whatever glass you buy, because you could totally have an explosion and it's not fun. And you will have sticky floors and a lot of liquid to clean up. So I have an 8-ounce jar pretty much ready for me every single morning. These will keep in the fridge. I like to keep them for 2 to 3 weeks, but best if consumed within 2 to 3 days. I'll have 1 a day or maybe even 2 a day. You can taste this now and you'll see that it's not going to be as sweet when you taste it in 24 hours from now. You can enjoy it as is. You can add an ice cube. You can throw it in a blender, include it in your smoothies, do whatever you like with it. Some other tips for you are the sugars you use. You can use a lot of different sugars. I would look them up just in case to be sure, to make sure you can use it. But there are sugars that you can't use. I know honey is one of them. I like to use a brown sugar. Just make sure it's organic and all natural. You can use a raw cane sugar that's organic and all natural. There's a lot of other sugars, but yeah, make sure that you use one that is okay. You can quickly do a Google search for that, or ask me. I'm happy to answer in the comments. I like to alternate. They say feed your grains as if you were to feed your children. They want a varied diet. Now, I don't have children, but I do have these baby Kefir grains, and they eat a lot of different versatile foods. So sometimes I'll give them raisins, figs, a date, a dried apricot in the fermentation round 1 cycle. And in fermentation round 2, I will play around, because even though the grains aren't in here, I learn how to best create a water kefir. We're taking care of little organisms here, so it's important to use different things every time and create a varied diet for them. Another tip is that you should aim to multiply your grains and share your grains. Once your grains start to develop, you can divide them into a second jar, and maybe you know someone who wants to start experimenting with water kefir, or you can use it to benefit your cycle. So you can do this kind of like repeat thing where you ferment the first jar, you wait those 2 days for the next one, and then you can grab that next one and use it for your second fermentation while waiting for your other one to brew. So that's nice. You can have a little cycle there. Feel free to click the links below so you can buy your own water kefir grains, or give me a like, comment, or subscribe if you like what you saw today. Thank you so much. Cheers.